After he was found guilty of the mass shooting at Kentmore Cabinets in 2021, Larry Bollin was sentenced today.
The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours before handing up a life sentence. Dylan Chris Watkis was in court every minute of Bollin's trial last week and has the very latest today. Dylan.
31-year-old Larry Bollin will spend the rest of his life in prison and pay a $10,000 fine after being found guilty for the murder of Timothy Smith during the deadly mass shooting at Kentmore Cabinets in Bryan more than 4 years ago. It was silent in the courtroom as the jury read Bollin's fate. He didn't react much when Bollin heard he'd spend the rest of his life in prison. Tim Smith's widow, Skyla Smith, breathed a sigh of relief that the ordeal had come to an end, and while it won't fix the damage done to her family, it's the start of getting closure.
There were a lot of victims, a lot of people who were seen and unseen. Skyla was probably the most prominent person because Tim was her husband and her shining light in her world. And so I think it was closure for her, but also closure for all of the victims that were there that were shot and almost fatally wounded that day, April 8th, 2021.
Obviously knows what's going on, but it was kind of interesting right after it was the verdict and then did the victim impact, he leaned over and said, "Did they give me life?" I was like, "Yeah, they gave you life." So I guess it took a while to process that.
There was some ruckus in the courtroom. Bollin's mother, not accepting her son would stay behind bars, yelled for an appeal and claimed Bollin didn't receive a fair trial. Tonight at 10, we'll hear from Skyla Smith, Tim's widow, as she talks about the trial and the devastating loss in her life. For now, live in Bryan, Dylan Chris Watkis, KBTX News.
Dylan, thank you. Kentmore released a statement today saying, quote, "It is painful for our family and our family of employees to see what we have accomplished together be tarnished by a senseless act of violence. It breaks my heart. For our employees and our community, it will never be justified nor understood, and it will not be forgotten," end quote.